Hello, Gabriel.
Hello, Martina.
I've noticed that the number of people who watch our interviews is steadily decreasing. And I want to ask you, what are your stories about that?
About the numbers that they're decreasing or about the why?
Tell me your stories about the number of the decreasing. Why are so less people watch those videos?
My story is, and I have this with more than one team I'm in, is that somehow I'm not at the edge anymore. Like I'm not at the like border to nothingness where I step into things where I haven't been so much anymore.
Okay. Tell me another story.
It's getting colder and people are less interested in looking at people who have more joy in life than them.
So your story is that we or you have more joy in life than some others?
Yeah.
What do you have joy about?
I'm having joy about aliveness and about living and yeah.
Mm. You have joy about living and about being alive.
Yeah, the principle of aliveness is quite strong in my life at the moment. Like I feel also the other feelings alive, and I feel very alive. I feel very present and here, and like this is me. I'm living here right now, and I can create something. I can create my life, and I somehow have this Vorfreude, this somehow the joy of the fear and the joy of I'm in the steering wheel now, and it's not so much that I'm like, it's my choice. What do I choose? Yeah.
What changed in your life that you have that joy now, and that choice that you have that choice now?
The choice or the
yeah, both the joy and because you said you have the choice to create, or and what changed that you have that now?
Well, before I was usually numbing myself, and I was a lot on my phone for hours every day, and watching videos or scrolling through Instagram or playing some games or something like that. And also with my leg, which was like painful, and I was like lying a lot, so I wasn't moving a lot. Like I couldn't sit. Like it's the first time I'm sitting in this interview for, I don't know, a long time, I think. And I did an experiment with Benedict Betts. He is coaching me, and he was giving me the experiment of just put your phone, just turn it off for today, just one day, just one evening. Like it was 3 p.m, just turn it off, put it away. And I said, like, because I knew I had to do, I knew I had to do it. And he said, yeah, you don't have to do it forever. Just do it for now. Just do it for today. And I did. And I turned my phone off and put it away. And then I couldn't somehow waste time anymore. Like I could still do it with my laptop maybe, but that wasn't my usual pattern. And instead it was just, I allowed myself to do nothing and to just be with this, to be with the uncomfortableness of being bored. And I turned my phone on later that evening because I booked 2 tickets with the 2 train tickets, and I usually have it on my phone because I have a digital ticket and stuff like that. And then I turned it off again, I put it away. And I was calling friends, and I was like using the landline and like pressing the buttons, like hard buttons, not a touch display. It was so, I felt like in 1990s somehow to have this, like, yeah, a telephone. And somehow I still do this. Like I'm using my phone very, very, very little every day, and I can waste my time in different things, and I can just do nothing, and I can read a lot, and yet I also start like creating stuff. Yeah. And so it's like the decreasing of the pain and the increasing of more activity, and then less numbing and more doing. And this is just, I don't know, I cannot remember ever feeling so alive as the last weeks.
Mm-hmm. When you switched off your mobile,
yeah,
at that moment when you pressed that switch out button, what did you feel?
Not so much. It was somehow a little bit surreal, as if it's not really real what's happening. It was just like we were talking, Benedict and I, we were talking, and he just said, yeah, well, just turn it off. And I said, well, like, okay. And my gremlin laughed, and like, okay, I just turned it off. Like it's that easy, and I just turned it off.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on with our call. So I wasn't really like focusing on that. And I knew I had another call afterwards. So I knew it was like a longer, like, yeah. Somehow it was more of a decision, and not so much of like this is how it is now. I just had the clarity also in my emotional body. And like, I guess mostly fear and anger. Like to do it, use the anger to do it, and the fear of, will I be able to hold it? Or something like that.
And what about that boring, that to be bored? Yeah. That what is it to be bored? What feeling is it for you? What does that mean for you to be bored?
To be bored is mostly, I think it's some underworld stuff where I'm so used that I have something to do, and when I don't have anything to do, my gremlin goes crazy and says, yeah, but like, let's do anything. Like, let's do anything to not be present. And I think it's mostly fear.
Fear because
like, what do I do with my time?
And what about this aspect of being connected through your mobile with other people? Because for me, living in the North Sea, it's a very important aspect to have my mobile to have this sense of being connected to people in the whole world. How is that for you?
I answer messages every day, and I even got better than before. I was more isolated before, because my gremlin has this tendency of not answering messages so fastly, so like directly. So it wasn't the way for me. It wasn't the way for me. I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
How often are you bored?
Yeah, and this being bored is it's interesting, because I also use, for example, my mobile not to be bored, not to feel bored, and this bored is is an interesting thing for me, because this to be bored has a lot to do with fear and with being lonely and with being not connected, and at the end with dying.
Yeah. And there were some children here last week, and when they didn't know what to do, they just invented the next game. And I remember when I was a child and I didn't know what to do with my friends, we were just sitting around, everyone's like, what are we gonna do? And then someone said like, let's do this and that. Let's do that, let's do this. And then at some point we found the next spark, and then we went full on into this next activity. Instead of like minute for minute, for hour, for day, for week, like wasting time on the phone. Just like, okay, what's my next, what do I want to do? And it's a really cool experiment. I can for me it changed. It was like the drop that overflowed the vessel. I have no idea if this is an English thing, like das fast zum Überlaufen bringen. It's like the one drop that it makes the explosion somehow, the one little bit that's enough. It was just one experiment, one evening, and it changed my everything. And I can highly recommend it to people. Yeah.
So that's when we make the loop, that's that leads to you feeling more alive and having that joy, and that's because you gave that was your story. Why you think people don't watch that interviews, and I just wanted to make that loop after we talked about it. What would you say if I would ask you now? What do you think? Would you use that story again after we talked about that?
I can still use it.
Yeah, you can still use it. You can, yeah. You can still use it because it has nothing to do with the others. It is only your part. We didn't talk about the other people. We only talked about what we think about being bored and how to spend our time and everything. Okay, we have a commitment to, I want to take 1 more minute. Is that okay for you?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter anyway, because nobody watches this. We have a commitment to make 100 videos. This is 31. Do you still have that commitment to go to the 100?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I have that. Even if there is this very frightening zero Aufrufe, if it would be that nobody watched that, would you go on to 100?
I have to say, like a few weeks ago, I was very down. Maybe this could be an excellent story also why people. I was like, oh, I don't want to do these interviews anymore, and like I did it anyway, and yeah, even when there is no one watching, because I just talked to my flatmates about it, and it's like in half a year or almost half a year, we'll have like. We can watch the first video again before like recording the episode, and then look at who we were a year ago. Mm-hmm. And that's so interesting. Like it's so interesting to look back a year and see who we were. How did we talk? How alive were the persons? How I was usually very sad, and like did the voice change maybe? Something like that. What, like all these things of who was I back then? I'm looking forward to that.
I've noticed that it takes a little weight from me. I don't know if you can say that in English. It takes weight from my fear of oh wow, new interview, who will watch that, what will they think about me, how do I look, this whole stuff. And because I think, okay, there are only 4 people who watch that, so doesn't matter. It gives me a lightness, more lightness. I want to shake hand with you for renew, not renew, but talk about having that commitment and going to the 100. I want to shake hand with you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good week.
Yeah, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.